everyone, welcome back to class. We just came back from Professor Gonzalez and Brian Perino's lecture where we continue to talk about professional responsibility and ethical decisions we might need to take as we dive into professional careers and continue on with our college life. So today our objectives are to find a framework for professional responsibilities. So these frameworks will be used to make ethical decisions whether in academic settings or the professional workplace. Our next objective is to learn how to handle hard conversations through a brief exercise that we will engage together as a class. And lastly, we want to continue to build a strong foundation for professional responsibility, which is the overall encompassing goal of Module 2 and as well as Business 101. So before we move on to our first activity, I want to briefly touch upon the assignments that are due for our next class. The first assignment is assignment 2.3. 2.3 is a reflection on a personal dilemma you face and the framework for decision making that you took as you face this dilemma. And the next assignment is assignment 2.4, which is the Harvard Business Review article Monkey on Bag. Please make sure to read this thoroughly so that we could have an intellectual conversation as a class when we have to discuss it in our next class, next week. Alright, so to dive into our first activity, our first activity will be 2 MC role plays. So if you could, please break up into groups of 4. Not yet, just wait until I'm done finishing the instructions. To each group, I will hand out a slip of paper containing a different scenario. These scenarios will be very similar to the past 2-minute challenges that you've seen before, but very condensed and short and to the point. So once you get these slips of papers containing the different dilemmas, please discuss with your group how you will approach this dilemma if you were that individual in the situation. And once you guys come up with a conclusion on how you will handle this tough decision, please prepare a short skit illustrating the problem that's at hand as well as the decision your group decided to take. So right now, please break out into groups of 4, or also known as your buzz groups, and I will go around handing you out slips of paper. Great, it's great to see you guys working and collaborating together, but I'm just going to interject here for a moment while you guys continue to develop your skits. First, please consider a certain decision-making framework that you are taking right now as your group is deciding on a final decision or conclusion to your dilemma. As well as how will your decision in this situation affect others, not only yourself, but your peers, your co-workers, your boss, your professors, your friends. So constantly keep those themes in mind as you continue to work on your skits. Great job everyone on your skits, that was awesome. You guys did a very good job. So kind of to retouch on the overall line themes of this exercise, can someone tell me what kind of decision framework you chose to take as you tackled this dilemma on your 2MC? Anyone? Great. That's a great point. Writing down all the issues that might be at hand and all the third parties that might be affected by your decision is an excellent decision framework that you can take. So this kind of ties into our next objective we have to touch, which is how does your decision affect others? What kind of third parties might be affected by your decision that you took? For example, group 1, you discussed how obtaining old exams, what can you do in those situations, and what is a third party that you encountered while you were making your decision. Great, other peers in the same class, other students that don't have access to the old exams like you do might be affected by your decision. That's great, you guys did a great job. So today we discussed finding a framework for decision making, especially tying this in with the concept of professional responsibility. We also did an activity on how to handle hard conversations. Hard conversations are ones where you're not quite sure what to say or how to tackle the issue at hand, so you need to think it thoroughly before you act upon it. And lastly, we touched on building a strong foundation for professional responsibility. So please remember that assignment 2.3 and 2.4 are due next class. And I'm now going to open it up to any questions. Anyone? Great.